long investigation. The Office of Congressional Ethics found no wrongdoing and voted unanimously to dismiss the case. I look forward to the same outcome from all impending investigations.
Congresswoman Cori Bush defending herself tonight as she acknowledges the feds are looking into her spending.
Bush is making federal probe from the BBC and Daily Mail to national networks.
Look at that. Now check out this network of news media screenshots that they have up here. It looks like they got an article from the New York Times. They got an article from CBS, BBC, the Washington Post, and I'm not sure who that one is from with the green arrow on it. All these people do is copy and paste the same articles, and they copy and paste them across all of these different companies. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Patricia Slade. Patricia Slade said all Congress do this because they are mad because her and others are speaking up for the Palestinians. We all know who's behind this. Let's put it out there. Who do y'all think is behind this? Let me know in the comment section. Now, why is Cori Bush so verbal about Palestinians and then will turn around and say something insane like climate justice is racial justice? Here's an idea for Cori Bush if she survives these investigations. Speak up for the people that put you in office. We need to start talking to these Democrats the way that these Democrats talk to us. If you guys agree, we need to start talking to these Democrats the way they talk to us. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
And all across Missouri, the story is making headlines. Thanks for joining us here at 6. Well, this news broke around noon today, and your First Alert team has been tracking all the details.
Yeah, Chief Investigative Reporter Lauren Traeger has been digging all day into Bush's spending. She joins us now with new information you'll only see here on 4, Lauren.
So we're talking about security services, and just as a point of comparison, I checked, and Congresswoman Ann Wagner from our area did not spend campaign dollars for security in 2013. But it may not be just the fact that Congresswoman Bush is hiring private security, but who she is hiring that is of the most interest to the feds. Bush has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars since first day.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. How many of you all know what the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation is? Not the Congressional Black Caucus, but the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation. If you know what that is, give me a thumbs up. If you don't know what it is, then give me a thumbs down. And if we get any thumbs down, if one of the moderators could grab a small description, whatever you can put in there, and paste it into the chat, that would be great. Because I think one thing that people really need to start doing is people need to start paying attention to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation and then pay attention to all of the money that gets put into it and where that money comes from. Okay? Just a thought.
Taking office on private security, even since there first was scrutiny over it. In just the first 9 months of 2023, her campaign spent close to $130,000 on security. That money paid out to a number of individuals and entities for security services. But more than $42,000 in the first 3 quarters of 2023 were paid directly to her husband, Courtney Merritt's, something she has repeatedly defended and did so again today. Take a listen.
The nature of these allegations have been around my husband's role on the campaign. In accordance with all applicable rules, I retained my husband as part of my security team to provide security services because he has had extensive experience in this area.
Let me ask you guys a question. If you're a woman, right? If you are a woman and you become attracted to a man and marry that man, and he's your husband, does that mean that you believe in gender roles? Because Cori Bush really advocates for the legitimate, but she seems to have a traditional family structure. I'm just curious. And shout out to Sois Muscle Pain. Sois Muscle Pain said there's 31 people in here. Please hit the thumbs up button. Embrace villainhood and villainous hood. Yeah, big facts. Yo, and also shout out to him for doing that. Make sure that you guys throw those like enforcers in the chat.
And is able to provide the necessary services at or below fair market rate.
But one thing we looked at today, First Alert 4 Investigates has confirmed that Merritt's does not have a security license in the city of St. Louis or the county of St. Louis. That's something that is required by law to work security here in the district Bush represents.
So now her husband doesn't have a security license to work security. So does that mean that if she paid him to do a service that requires a license, is that a legitimate payment? Or is he going to end up getting in trouble for operating without a license? What do you guys think?
We also checked, and 3 other people named in Bush's financial records as having received campaign funds for security: Joseph Walter, Nathaniel Davis, and Cornelius Brown. None of them have active licenses. And that is something that is of interest to good government advocates who we brought this to, saying it could be a concern.
I think that Cori Bush's supporters would be rightfully upset that this money is not being spent on campaign activity, but is being given to family and friends who appear not to have the qualifications or licensing or background to provide the services that the campaign claims that they're providing.
Now, local laws here say that working without an active security license in the city or the county could result in arrest. And the law says that companies or agencies that knowingly employ someone without a license subjects them to a fine and or liability and a civil action. We have asked the Bush campaign.
So now here goes my question. Knowing what you guys know about this, what you just heard, and everything that you know about the payments, what do you all think would be the appropriate thing for the Department of Justice to do once they've evaluated all the information that's come out about Cori Bush? What do you guys think?
About the lack of licenses here. They have not yet responded to all of our questions. Certainly something we are seeking to clarify whether or not they believe those security officers need to have licenses.
And Lauren, we know that Congresswoman Bush,
well, here's the thing, right? If the state or city or wherever, if you have to have a license to operate, then that means that you have to have a license to operate. And if you operate without a license, then that means that you're operating without a license, meaning that you're operating illegally. So what it would seem to me like is that Cori Bush was paying her husband and he was operating illegally as an unlicensed security professional. Isn't that what that seems like? Isn't that what that seems like to you guys? If that's what that seems like to you guys, give me a thumbs up. If that's not what it seems like to you guys, then give me a thumbs down and let me know what you think.
Really do one-on-one interviews with the media. We've asked her several times. Have had a hard time getting her. Did she answer any questions from reporters during that gaggle in DC today?
No, specifically her PR person said there would be no questions. She did not take any questions. Again, those are questions we want to ask. Does she think that she needs to have those licenses? And why is this a valid spending concern in her mind? Didn't get the chance to do that today.
Now, again, it shouldn't matter whether she thinks that they need licenses or not, right? Like, that shouldn't matter. What should matter is the law. And according to this news report, the law is that in the area where Cori Bush lives at, it's required for an individual operating as a security professional to have a license, right? That's pretty simple. Shout out to This Is a Test Name 1234. What's good with it? Good to see you.
A lot to unpack here. What happens next, Lauren?
Yeah, it's a great question. Of course, everybody wants to know what's going to happen, but multiple agencies just need to do their job. There are still active reviews at the Federal Election Commission and a House Committee on Ethics, so those are ongoing. But this DOJ investigation is a whole different ballgame. Obviously, the feds are going to do what they're going to do. It's pretty clear they've maybe already conducted some interviews. They are gathering more information through subpoenas. They're gathering the facts, and the Congresswoman says she is cooperating fully with these investigations. Guys.
All right, so there's that. All right, so we're going to look at one more. So see, this is one of the reasons why I look at all these different clips, because they gave a lot more information, understanding the scrutiny behind this in that last news clip than the other one. Yo, shout out to Two Factor. I appreciate you, bro. All right, so here we go. We're about to check this out real quick here. Boom, boom.
All right, everyone. The Congresswoman is going to deliver a statement. She is not taking questions. She will just be delivering a statement.
Come down.
Yo, here's my question. Why it seems like politicians are always in a situation where they never have to answer questions. Do you guys notice that? They're never required to answer questions. Ever. Why is that? Why is it that politicians are never required to answer questions? And shout out to So It's Muscle Pain for being a bot enforcer. Appreciate it.
Everybody good? Scott, you're leaning in. Yeah.
All right, so first and foremost, I hold myself, my campaign, and my position to the highest levels of integrity. I also believe in transparency, which is why I can confirm that the Department of Justice is reviewing my campaign spending on security services. We are fully cooperating with this investigation, and I would like to take this opportunity to outline the facts and the truth. Since before I was sworn into office, I have endured relentless threats to my physical safety and life. As a rank and file member of Congress, I am not entitled to personal protection by the House, and instead have used campaign funds as permissible to retain security services. I have not used any federal tax dollars for personal security services. Any reporting that I have used funds for personal security is simply false. In recent months, right-wing organizations have lodged baseless complaints against me, peddling notions that I have misused campaign funds to pay for personal security services. That simply is not true. I have complied with all applicable laws and House rules, and will continue to prioritize the rules that govern us as federal elected officials. In particular, the nature of these allegations have been around my husband's role on the campaign. In accordance with all applicable rules, I retained my husband as part of my security team to provide security services because he has had extensive experience in this area and is able to provide the necessary services at or below fair market rate. These frivolous complaints have resulted in a number of investigations, some of which are still ongoing. The Federal Election Commission and the House Committee on Ethics are currently reviewing the matter, as is the Department of Justice. We are fully cooperating in all these pending investigations. In September of last year, 2023, after conducting a months-long investigation, the Office of Congressional Ethics found no wrongdoing and voted unanimously to dismiss the case. I look forward to the same outcome from all impending investigations. And I am under no illusion that these right-wing organizations will stop politicizing and pursuing efforts to attack me and the work that the people of St. Louis sent me to Congress to do, to lead boldly, to legislate change my constituents can feel, and to save lives.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do you guys think that the people in St. Louis are really happy that she is their congresswoman? Do you guys think that she's just bringing it home for St. Louis? They're going to put her back in office? If you go to St. Louis and you ask about Cori Bush, do you think that a few people will have something bad to say and that everybody else will be singing her praises? What do you guys think? What's the deal with her? Representative Cori Bush is under investigation after hiring husband as security. Now, again, this is old. This has been going on for a while, but it's just that the Department of Justice has picked it up. She's been under these little investigations before, but now it's going to be more serious because the Department of Justice has picked it up. Representative Cori Bush confirmed Tuesday that the Department of Justice is investigating her campaign's spending on security service. Since before I was sworn into office, I have endured relentless threats to my physical safety and life, Bush said in remarks on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. As a rank and file member of Congress, I am not entitled to personal protection by the House and instead have used campaign funds as permissible to retain security services. Bush says she is fully cooperating. The Justice Department declined to comment. The St. Louis Democrat says that she's retained her now husband as part of her security team and claims that he is able to provide services at or below market rate. And that's probably because he's not licensed. But what we need to find out is the license required or not, or does the license just improve how much you're able to charge? That's the question that we need to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm sure the Department of Justice will figure it out before we do. You know what I'm saying? Congressional ethics rules for members of the House of Representatives permit family members to be paid from campaign funds for bona fide services. So now here's the thing, right? It would be, this to me is what the investigation would hinge on. So long as the payments do not, quote unquote, exceed fair market value. Now, my question is, do you all think that what Cori Bush was paying her husband as a unlicensed security personnel is fair market value, if it's even allowed at all? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. In addition to the Justice Department investigation, Bush says the Federal Election Commission and the House Committee on Ethics are also reviewing the matter. So now remember, she's been investigated for this and cleared before, but now the Department of Justice has picked it up. And shout out to Carlton, because Carlton asked a good question. Who do you guys think who's upset with her? Here's my question for you guys. There's an organization that's been going around attacking particular black Democrats that have a pro-Palestine stance. Anybody want to guess what organization that is that's doing that? Let me know. In addition to the Justice Department investigation, Bush says the Federal Election Commission and the House Committee on Ethics are also reviewing the matter. According to Bush, the Office of Congressional Ethics, staffed by career government employees, found no evidence of wrongdoing in an investigation last year and voted unanimously to dismiss the case. The investigation first came to light on Monday, when the House clerk publicly informed lawmakers of a subpoena received by the House Sergeant at Arms. Security concerns are front of mind for many lawmakers after the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. In 2023, the Capitol Police investigated more than 8,000 threats against lawmakers, up from roughly 5,200 in 2018. Paul Pelosi, husband of former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, was attacked in the couple's home in 2022, and he's also drunk and got in trouble for, I believe, driving drunk. He might have actually gotten in a car accident in that instance, where he was beaten with a hammer and left unconscious in a pool of his own blood by a politically motivated attacker. Those Pelosi's, they party kind of weird. They party kind of weird.